Coming to Man Up, I've learned how to be a father, and learned how to be a family man. I've learned how to take responsibility, to own up for what I do.
Man Up's done a lot for me. I'm happily married. I never hurt my wife again. The relationship I've had with my wife, now it's beautiful.
I'm now drug and alcohol free, and out of the 6 children, I have 3 children that's come back.
I'm violent free. I'm happily married.
Everything is gone for me. I'm totally a new man, and I really love Man Up. It's changing me.
I'm a lot happier with my life. I actually love myself so that I can love others, especially my family.
I'm clean off crime, start on a new life, coming to church, praying, slaying. That's my life now, is just help out our community.
Man Up to Tangata. There's actually a brotherhood here for you. If you're struggling out there, we're here to help you.
Ngā mihi kia koutou katoa, and welcome to Open Up Bro. We are grateful to have you on board tonight on our live broadcast, and look, we've been going on a great journey with the Open Up Bro show. We've only been going, this is our 4th time now, and we really appreciate you staying with us and supporting this kaupapa. And as you've understood and have heard, we're talking about real men, real issues, real topics that are affecting homes, especially in our society. And what a great forum we have here tonight to be able to open those topics up and talk about them openly with men that have had experiences and been through some of those things in their own life and have been bold enough to come on this set and join me and share about those experiences with you tonight. So I hope you tuned in. I hope you're at home now on your couch, maybe having an evening meal or something, cup of tea or coffee. Sit back for the next 30 minutes. We're going to have a great show. Kia ora koutou. So, you know, this is Māori Language Week here in New Zealand as well, so it's only appropriate that I give you the opportunity to do a short mihi. Not the full whakapapa, but just something very short. That'd be awesome. Kia ora.
Ngā mihi koutou, ko Clint and taku ingoa.
Kia ora koutou.
I'm Dionne.
Kia ora ana koutou, my name's Hugh.
Kia ora ki ngā manuhiri I tēnei pō, haere mai ki Open Up Bro. Chat!
Tūmeke kaiui, tūmeke. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just cut to an AV and we're going to come back to you very shortly.
My name is Clint and Hinga. I was heavily addicted to drugs and criminal activity. I hurt a lot of people, especially my family, my parents, and my stepdad. Yeah, I used to rob, steal, lie from anyone. I used to gang bang a lot, carry firearms, commit a lot of crimes. You know, I made people fear me through violence, disrespect. I was a captain in the gang world, and I pretty much had respect from a lot of violent men as well. So for me, the programs that I attended, while they didn't impact my life, was because there was no sustenance, there was no heart, there was no meaning, there was no purpose. For me, it was, I needed more, I needed power, I needed a cause, I needed something that will motivate me to change my life. And I just didn't get that connection from these programs. I didn't get the love, really, the brotherly love. For me, I couldn't connect. It didn't speak to my heart. It didn't speak to my life. It didn't make me want to be involved. And that's just me being honest. So I did 10 years, wasted my life inside, done higher ground, Odyssey House, one-on-one counselling, man alive sessions, therapy, residential rehab, urine testing, and none of that helped me become a man. So ever since I attended Man Up, I've actually been clean off methamphetamine, alcohol. I haven't committed any criminal offences. So I came to Man Up with possession of firearm charges, I came to man up with burglary charges, and I came to man up with breach of release conditions. So I was on the one-way ticket to incarceration. I found men that could speak to me, and I knew they were coming from a place of love. I knew it wasn't like, bro, you do this, you do that, and your life will be better. It was the way they spoke it. It was like, I've been through that before, brother. This is what I've done, and look at me, look at my fruit now. So what I got from Man Up was people that have actually gone through what I've been through and actually genuinely want to help you. That power that I was looking for, that brotherly love that I was looking for, I found it in Man Up.
Kia ora and welcome back. Just want to say thank you, Clint, for sharing your story. That AV, that testimony of your journey, part of your journey anyway, very inspirational. Thank you very much for allowing us to share this on the show. Look, we're going to be talking about fatherhood, manhood, particularly around fathering. Fathering, we are sort of talking about tonight is we sort of believe that the social ills that we're facing, suicide and imprisonment, and a lot of the social ills could be put at the footsteps of our men, of our fathers. So it's going to be a strong topic, and I think, if you're out there tonight, we want to give you the opportunity also to just message some questions through. We've got somebody online right now that could actually write down those questions. We'd like to give you, and we'd like to give the panel an opportunity at the end to actually answer some of those questions as well. We're going to get into our discussion tonight, brothers, and so, kia ora, and thank you very much for being on the panel tonight. It's really awesome. Hugh, I want you to, could you tell us about the, you're a stepdad, and what is the challenges that you've had to face as being a stepdad, taking on two young boys that biologically weren't your own?
Yeah, I think the first thing for me that comes to my mind was I didn't see myself as a stepfather, a stepdad. I wanted to be a dad, and I wanted to be a father, so I extracted step out of that, and yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Clint, were you raised by your father, and you weren't raised by your father, and so how did that affect you growing up as a youngster?
Well, really, not having my father around, the way it affected me is there was no male role model. My biological father, he wasn't there. The way it affected me is, I went through things that a boy should have a man to help them go through, like little things like how to use the toilet, not having a father there to watch me at my rugby games. So that affected me in a way that I was quite lonely, rebellious. There was a lot of pressure on my mum, really, because I took it out on her like it was her fault. It was her fault that my dad robbed the bank. It was her fault that my dad wasn't there. And so I was quite angry, violent, just a child, slashing our parents' tyres, my mum's tyres. So I took it out on my family, the ones that actually loved me.
Yeah. That's awesome. Dionne, so what was your father-son relationship? What was it like for you growing up?
So myself, I grew up with knowing or thinking that I had four fathers. So my biological dad, who passed away when I wasn't born, a father who raised me, who today I call dad, and me and him, I grew up knowing him as dad. So then my little brother's father, who I grew up knowing him as uncle, so I call him uncle. And the last father, who done an awesome job at raising me, is my mother. She played the father figure in my life. So
bit of a shout out to mum, eh?
Yeah, shout out to you, mum. Boom.
Shooting back to you, Clint. So you're talking about being angry at your father for not being there, and how important is the role of a father being present in a father-son relationship? How important is that for you?
Oh, it's a must. A son needs to be validated by his father.
Yeah.
A son really needs to hear those words, I'll be at your game, son, I'm proud of you, son. So it's extremely, you need it. A child needs it. Otherwise, if they don't have their validation from their father, they're going to end up like what I went through, like me, drug addiction, prison, all that. So a young boy needs a man in his life.
So what is it, as simple as a father just believing in you? Just believing, eh? Yeah,
I
awesome.
just needed him there.
Yeah.
Right, Clint. Hugh, I want to come back to you and what Clint's saying about validating. You know, those two young boys that obviously, as I said, they're not your biological children. And you've just stated, which is really awesome, that you deleted the step part of being the father, your dad. So talk to us about how did you validate these two young men, that they'd actually understand that you wanted to be that father figure and a role model for them?
Yeah, I think I validated them a lot through my actions. So when I came into a marriage relationship with their mother Sandy, my beautiful wife, you know, I was picking up the pieces of a previously broken relationship. So I really wanted to go into this relationship doing it well. And for the boys, I made some decisions. I was an alcoholic. I stopped drinking, so I wanted to be alcohol-free dad. The other thing I did was I was a drug addict, so I decided that I was going to role model a drug-free dad.
Amazing.
And I think those actions spoke loud to them, and because they see that, and we know that fathers mimic and imitate their fathers and watch what they're doing. And I think that was the ultimate step that I could take. Yeah. You know, and also telling them that I love them, and you know, being a provider, all those sorts of things, and
thanks, you. Clint, I'll come back to you, and probably you too, Dionne. You can comment answer this one too. You know, look, you know, not having a father around, was there that heart cry inside? You know, being a youngster and growing up, where is my dad? You know?
Yeah, well. Yeah, definitely. Where was he? Those thoughts crossed my mind a lot as a child. You know, where are you? It's my 13th birthday. You know, where are you? I'm 14. You know, where are you? Something's happening with my body. Like, you know,
real talk.
Where are you? You know, so those thoughts plagued my mind as a young man, and I only just forgave him recently. So, yeah, they plagued me for over 20 years. Where are you?
Yeah, I think when you ask that question, a story comes to my mind, and it was when my stepfather, my sister's dad, gave me a hiding this one time, and I just told him, hey, I was angry as I was crying and everything, and I was like, you're not even my real dad. Oh, my real dad back. You're not my real dad, you know, and that's just one memory of, yeah. That, so I was trying to.
If I can add to that too, Dionne, was because I've got 3 young men that do live with me, and they're not my kids, but I can definitely affirm what you're saying, because with these 3 men, the common factor there is a male believing in them, and with all these 3 men, I deal with them, I correct them, I love them, I do what I need to do, but they're not my biological sons. But you see the missing component of a father, because these are 30. This is a 30-year-old man, 25-year-old, and a 20-year-old. But I'm not their dad, but just me believing in them, it goes a long while, but I'm not their dad. So there's a lot to do with a male believing in someone else. I guess hence why Man Up is such a great move of brotherhood, of men believing in other men.
Definitely.
It's an amazing move, eh? So yeah, I thought I'd add to that.
Did anyone else want to add to that before we'll move on? A silent moment in there. Yeah, no, fantastic. I mean, at this point, you know, just some real good open sharing talk, and you know, especially over here too with you young men that actually haven't had that healthy role model of a father in your life. But you know, I guess the other things that we could be asking too, you know, what are the biggest challenges? You know, it can't be all just rosy paths when you're raising stepchildren. Hugh, and so working that out in life, what are the challenges that you face?
No, well, one of the biggest challenges for me as a father was my father left my mother when I was 11, 12 years old, and my father was a merchant seaman, so when I was growing up he was away from home a lot, so I never really had a good father role model. Therefore I never knew how to be a good father, so I had to learn that. I had to, Yeah, and I was lost. You know, on top of that, you know, I had anger issues. You know, I was communication issues and all those sort of things. But you know, I aligned myself with good role models.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What we're going to do now, whānau, is we're going to go to an AV very shortly. Before we do, this young man that's sharing his story next is, he picks up on a point about fatherlessness, a big problem in New Zealand, and something that we're obviously opening up about and talking through. And so check this AV out in this story.
My name is Naititi Sami. I was a irresponsible young man. I was unreliable, and these led to me being homeless. And I either just slept at the bus stop, the train station, tried to find, you know, a girl at the pub to go home with for the night, and yeah, it was I just took it day by day. You know, I would sleep at the back of warehouses, at the back of factories, and yeah, an alcoholic, I could say, a party boy. You know, at the pubs all the time, or you know, I had an addictive nature. I was addicted to cigarettes. I was addicted to alcohol. I was a gambler. Spent when I did have money, all my money at the pokies or at the casino, thinking that I was going to crack it big. I didn't really know of a way I was going to get out of my rut or the hole that I dug myself in. Yeah, I didn't really look for help anywhere. I sort of thought, you know, I'd be able to get myself out, and I didn't really, I guess, being prideful. As a teenager, I went through counselling sessions. I did play up a bit as a teenager, and I had potential as a student to become someone great. But so they put counsellors around me and mentors that they thought would help, but I guess they never did help, because I'd end up doing the same things, and that escalate into bigger things as I grew older. When I was 16, I went to a place called Tawaireka in Hawke's Bay, and it was a youth voluntary rehab facility, and I graduated from that place, but two months after I got out, I was back to smoking weed, I was back to smoking cigarettes, and I guess doing exactly the same things that I was doing to lead me into there. And you know, I honestly thought I'd come out and be a new person, but nah, I relapsed and ended up being a worse off than I was when I went in there. I am chosen to break some cycles in my family bloodline, and my generational bloodline. You know, the being fatherless, like that's one that I feel like I'm chosen to break. You know, and because of what the other tools and the other keys that I've been learning at Man Up, my daughter is now back in my life. My daughter is moving here in January, and I'm going to be marrying her mum before my next birthday. So, you know, that's what Man Up's done for me. And also, you know, being fatherless, I didn't really have a guidance or I guess a male role model to go off, but now I have a whole brotherhood of men that, you know, I look up to, and I see as role models and mentors and counselors, and I can open up to. And I guess I've sort of, replaced that hole in my heart, and filled it with this love that I get from these men. And you know, it's not gay love, it's real man love, and I haven't found it, or I haven't seen it anywhere else.
Yeah, kia ora, welcome back everybody. Look, we're at the last part of our segment for our show tonight. I hope that you are hearing these key messages that we are speaking about in regards to fatherhood, and the video that Brother T just shared just right there, you know, highlighting the outcome of fatherlessness, in the sense that, you know, he hasn't had his father, he doesn't know his biological father today, but yet in that inspiring story, he's getting himself back on track today, obviously wanting to man up and to father up and to potentially husband up. So there, just wanted to encourage you. Good work, T. Keep up the good work. Back to our panel now. So, you know, look, we're on the home run now about this heart topic. it means a lot to us as men and as families, fatherhood and being a good role model and example to our children and to our whānau. Was you just sort of summarising now in the stepfather, as you've said, the role that you play now as a father, describe now the relationship you have with these young men.
Yeah, well, let me just say about my two sons. Both of them don't drink alcohol.
Beautiful.
They don't take drugs. They're both married. One of my sons has got a child, so we've got the moko, we've got one on the way, and we all live together in a big house, and they're both working. Actually, my oldest son, Ford, we're in business together, so we work together.
Awesome.
And he's just a lovely boy. Both of them are. We got on really well. In the early years, there was there were the tough times and that, but now really enjoying
some of those father-son intimate conversations you guys would have, talking through some hard stuff, life issues.
Yeah. So I think there isn't anything that we can come up against that we can't work out amongst ourselves. I really believe that there's always a way through, and I'm just confident moving forward with my sons and building the family, the next generation coming through. I just love my whānau. I love my boys. Awesome. We got our younger kids as well. We're a blended family, and my boys have really embraced the younger ones. They're 12 and 13, and we just love life. And
thank you, Hugh. Yeah, appreciate that. Clint, blended family. You are married. You've told us you're married to your wife. Prior to being married, obviously you had your son, Scriptures. Yeah, lovely boy, and he's a lovely kid. And now you're married and have a daughter together with your wife.
Baby amazing.
So it's a blended family, as Hugh has said as well. And he's successful. Is it successful for you as well?
Yes, it is. It's very successful. It is now. He loves his mother. He loves my wife. That's the only mother he's ever known. It's a bit of a challenge for her in the beginning, but and me as well, because I wasn't there for the first 4 years of his life. I was in prison. I got out, manned up, and I've had him in my care for a year now with me and my wife. We've had him for a year, and now we've just had a baby daughter. And he's just so in love with his sister. He's got a sister now. He's in a happy home with a beautiful, beautiful mother that makes his lunch, wakes him up, does all the motherly duties. And our family, you wouldn't even know. It's a beautiful, happy home. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
A compliment, man. Your mannerism is so amazing. Just your speech. It's so true.
Man up.
How important though is that word "I love you"? For us as fathers.
Oh, it's important. I tell my son, I love you. I love him, and I see the look in his eyes. His eyes lights up. They light up because that's confirmation. A son, a young boy needs validation from his father. He needs to hear those words. I love you, son. Just those 3 powerful words alone goes a long way. That's right.
So even though you didn't get it in your childhood, you're now turning a negative into a positive and making it happen for your son and your children?
Yes, I don't want them to go through what I went through.
Absolutely.
Broke the cycle.
Broke the cycle. Hey, brother Dionne, my man, obviously you're not a father at the moment, but it's inevitable that you will be a father one day. We believe that, guys? Yeah, we believe you're going to be a daddy. So Dionne, what type, futuristic, what type of father would you want to be when you grow up?
I guess now I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing, Like these guys are role modeling. They don't smoke, they don't drink. And, that's what I'm going to do. Just not smoke, not drink. And I know that my kids won't go through that. They won't smoke growing up knowing that kind of lifestyle. So I don't do any of that stuff. And doing that, my parents, my mother, her partner, they were able to, I guess, follow that example too. And
so you, even though you're not married and you're not a husband and all that sort of thing, you're having a powerful effect on your family unit, eh?
Yeah. So
fantastic, bro. By the way, everybody, this is Dionne Chamberlain. This is actually a promotion. He's actually single. Phone line 0800. One man up. So, guys, look, as we did promise, audience, we were going to get some questions from you, and we have received some questions. Thank you very much. And Kaiui's got those questions. So, look, it's open fire here. We haven't got long to go in our program, so I'll hand it over to Yui.
So this question's come from our viewers here. So with the current stats, with the prisons, suicide at its highest, what does fathering or the fatherhood impact have on those statistics? You.
Yeah. Well, look. You know, it's plain to see that there's issues out there, because we've got over 10,000 men in prison, and suicide is up at a record high at over 600, and we're not even through the year. So, you know, what's going on with our men? Where are they at? I know personally from myself, I wasn't shown properly how to be a man, or I wasn't given a good path in life, and I ended up going astray, and I ended up picking up the pieces of my life and, you know, having another go. But, you know, for men, if you're struggling with these issues, you know, it's not about hardening up, you know, it's about opening up and connecting to men. And, you know, we're here, Man Up. There are man ups all over this country and in Australia. If you can't find one, you can, because they're everywhere. And it's just about coming in and just addressing these issues, like, you know, alcohol, drugs, prison. That's why I was always in trouble. Alcohol and drugs.
Awesome, Hugh.
Thank you. So we've got one last question from one of our viewers. What do you see? I'm going to point this at you, Clint. What do you see the role of the father should be in the home?
Well, I said it before. The role of the father should be to protect, to love his family, validate his children, and provide, but also to, you know, provide a happy home for the wife, the children, and be an example, be a role model. You know, not do as I say, not as I do, but show them how it's done. Get up at 5 in the morning, go to work, come home, do the dishes. Do the dishes for the wife. Eh?
I can see a lot of our wives and partners clapping right now.
Change those nappies. Look, I do. You know. So that's for me. That's what I believe is a key part for a man in his home, to love his family.
I think before we do hand it back over to Kane, Hugh, you're a mighty man when it comes to stepfathering. Why? Because stepfathering is highly populated in the child abuse statistics, you know, with stepfather stepping into a relationship, becoming insecure about the biological dad, etc., etc. I just want to say you're a great advocate when it comes to you can do it. So Hugh, man, it's my privilege to be on this panel here tonight with you, but I was inspired by your story as a stepdad. So men, here's a great role model of how to be successful being a stepdad, and we can demolish that crazy statistics around child abuse with stepdaddy. So, bless your whānau, back over to you, Ken.
Yeah, kia ora everybody. So thank you, just highlighting what we said with Hugh and also Clint. I just want to thank Clint Ngātai for being on the live set tonight. You're an extraordinary man, brother, and we appreciate your story and what you're able to enlighten us about in your childhood. But more importantly, the changes that you've actually made in your life as a father, as a husband. And it's not easy, but it's worth it, isn't it? You know, the effort that we put in and the great rewards that we get back from the love of our partner, our wife and children, you know, and it's never too late to make those changes, you know. And it just there's pride, you know, come on. That's what it is for us men. A lot of pride walls go up and we just, you know, sometimes get negative in our thoughts. But we've just got to look at things for what they are. We only get one lifetime, okay? We only get one chance sometimes to do things right and do it again. So, you know, look, don't hesitate, don't procrastinate. Do what's right. And young brother Dionne here, thank you very much for coming on the set, bro.
Thanks for having
me. And I know this young man here runs a mentoring program in our youth prison facility. Beautiful. So he's making a difference. And I just wanted to highlight that tonight, bro, that you are making a difference, Dionne. It doesn't matter how you start in life, but as we say, it's how you continue and it's how you finish. And if how you're continuing, my friend, is any reflection of where you're going, I tell you what, there must be some young lady out there. This is one more go. Some young lady out there that's going to match this man. But he's a trophy. He's a lovely guy. I just want to encourage men and families out there. It's time to be domestic violence free in our families. It's time to be alcohol free in our homes. That's right, we're alcohol free dads here. It is possible. We don't need to go to the bar to have happy hour. We have happy hours with our children and family. It's a happy life. So, you know, whānau, be encouraged. This is a program that we're going to continue to talk about issues around healing and delivering and strengthening our homes for a better future. So God bless you all. Have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget to share this program. The start time is Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Tune in live. As we say, man up.
Tu tangata.
Tu tangata. God bless you, everybody. Good night.
Coming to Man Up, I've learned how to be a father, and learned how to be a family man. I've learned how to take responsibility, to own up for what I do.
Man Up's done a lot for me. I'm happily married. I never hurt my wife again. The relationship I've had with my wife, now it's beautiful.
I'm now drug and alcohol free. And out of the 6 children, I have 3 children that's come back.
I'm violent free. I'm happily married.
Everything is gone for me. I'm totally a new man, and I really love Man Up. It's changing me.
I'm a lot happier with my life. I actually love myself so that I can love others, especially my family.
Clean off crime, start on a new life, coming to church, praying, slaying. That's my life now, is just help out our community.
Man up to Tangata. There's actually a brotherhood here for you. If you're struggling out there, we're here to help you.